All right, today we are talking about 5.1, which is all about rational exponents, and those mean exponents that have a fraction. So I mentioned this a lot, but whenever I do this, I think power over root. So x to the m over n can be written as the nth root, of x, and that is to the m power. So the root goes here and the exponent goes here. All right, so if we want to evaluate this without a calculator, it's going to be easier to think of this as roots than it is to think of it as a fraction or a rational exponent. So this is power over root. So we have the square root of 4, and that is going to be raised to the 5th power. So the square root of 4 is 2, and then we have 2 to the 5th, and that gives us 32. So that's the first one. Then we have 9 to the negative 1/2. Negative fractions make us switch the numerator and denominator. So this is going to become 1 over 9 to the 1/2 power. And the 1/2 power means the square root. So I can write 1 over the square root of 9, which is 1 over 3. Oops. There we go. All right, and then lastly, we have 81 to the 3/4. So 81 to the 3/4, that means power over root. We are going to have the 4th root of 81, and that's going to be raised to the 3rd power. So the 4th root of 81 is 3, and if you don't know those things, that's where you're going to look at the chart that I give you. So that we have 3 to the 3rd power, which is 27. Okay, so that is how we simplify or evaluate expressions with rational exponents. The next thing that we're going to talk about is, excuse me, I'm having some, where is it? All right, so problems are going to be solving equations with rational exponents, so using them to solve equations. So if I had this right here, the first thing we might normally do is going to be to subtract 16. So I'm going to subtract 16 on both sides, and we get 4x cubed is equal to 4. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and we're going to get x cubed is equal to 1. Now, in order to get rid of this to the third, we're going to do the inverse of a third. So really, a third is 3 over 1. So we're going to raise this to the 1/3 power, because that is the opposite of raising it to the 3rd power, or the inverse. So if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. This one is unique because 1 to the 1/3 is still 1, but that won't always be the case. And so there is our answer. So anytime we want to solve some sort of equation using rational exponents, you're just going to do the inverse exponent. Okay, so that is 5.1. Please email me or let me know if you have any questions.